the background. I'm obsessed.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, this is truly an honor, guys. Thank you so much for taking some time to sit down with us. Luke and I are huge fans of Talk to Me, and soon to be huge fans of your new film here. Just gonna keep it spoiler free for the interview, but seriously, an awesome flick. Definitely excited to talk about it. But I have to at least mention the first time I saw you guys was in your YouTube channel, and as people who are on YouTube ourselves, this is massively inspiring. And I gotta say, like, do you guys still pinch yourselves like whenever you are in these events or making a film? Are you still sitting on set like people are letting me do this? Like,
Yeah, it never feels real, and we always feel so incredibly lucky. And I remember like people
And underqualified.
and underqualified, absolutely. But there's like something about people that sort of look down on YouTubers for some reason when we're coming up. But a storyteller is a storyteller, no matter what medium that you're from. Like there could be really amazing filmmakers coming up, even on TikTok and on Snapchat. It's like if you've got a storytelling instinct, you've got one, and it doesn't matter what platform you're coming from. So we're so proud to have come from YouTube.
awesome, awesome. That's always great and very inspiring. But Luke, I'm gonna pass it off to you, sir, to kick us off.
All right, perfect. Let me just say, Talk to Me was my favorite of the year, so I've been eagerly anticipating this one, and I got to say, you guys knocked it out of the park. Looking at both films, easily there's a kinship between Talk to Me and Bring Her Back, having those similar elements, but seemingly evoking different emotions, long-lasting impressions. Walking out of theater, I felt different from both films. Was there a conscious difference in approach from constructing both films, from initially on the page and then even visually as well?
Yeah, well, we knew that we wanted Talk to Me to be a party horror film, and that Bring It Back was going to be a psychological descent. And we really wanted to put a bigger lens or a tighter lens on character, and to really focus in on someone that you uncomfortably empathize with. And we were super inspired by the old school Psycho Biddy films. Like I love Wait Until Dark. I love Whatever Happened to Baby Jane and See No Evil. And yeah, we wanted to have something that lived in that vein.
Awesome.
Absolutely. And I think it worked out so well for you guys because those supernatural elements work so well, but it's such a different experience walking out in terms of leaving those long lasting impressions. But, just looking at both films, I think if we fast forward 30 years, I think easily your names are going to pop up as inspirations for future directors. And looking at the authentic feel to your characters you've created, especially in the teenage age range, do you think your background in social media has helped you get into the headspace of younger age groups to make them feel more organic and not like you're just trying to have that voice? It seems like you just seemingly are able to write these characters perfectly.
It's I think maybe a little bit of that, but a lot of the time it's really collaborating with the actors. Even if a younger actor or an older actor, like allowing them the freedom to change dialogue if they needed to change dialogue. And like, how would you actually say this naturally? Like this is sort of a blueprint, this thing that you can change things if you want to. And letting the actors know that there's no such thing as a bad take. There's no such thing as a terrible performance here. It's like we're all just working together to bring something to life that feels real. And a lot of those actors, they're allowed to choose their wardrobe as well. And like even Sally Hawkins, she was helping dress the set. So it's like, I like when an actor comes in and you can collaborate with them and bring it together, in a really authentic way. I love that whole process.
And I think the authenticism really does stick out in both those films. That's why I love them so much. But I'll pass it over to Dylan, so he can take it over for a couple questions.
Yeah, guys, I whenever I get in front of people that I'm really inspired by or people that really their films speak to me and mean a lot to me, I'm always curious what inspired you. Like if there were any direct references. I know you mentioned a couple offhand there, but for both of you gentlemen, what was like the movie or set of movies that was playing maybe while you were writing or maybe while you were just like trying to cool down after a day of shooting just to kind of keep you in that headspace and get you inspired for Bring Her Back?
I get so excited by the character work in this TV show called In Treatment. And it's this TV show where it's just a therapist talking to a patient, and their conversations feel so real, and the people feel so real. And something like someone throwing a glass of water on someone's face feels like a car just exploded. And like that was always an inspiration when writing any of the stuff. It's sort of like to make sure that the film could exist as a drama film. Like if you take all the horror elements out, do these people still feel like people? Does their story still make sense? And then having the horror elevate all of those thematic things that we're trying to hit. Like that's always the way that I love to write, and that was a big inspiration for.
Yes, because that just helps when you're trying to connect with a character. If you can connect with the character outside of that, when the horrible stuff happens, it just means so much more. But in Treatment, you were watching that every night after.
I mean, I did watch.
I was editing, so he was watching movies. I was editing.
On the weekend, I did have some movie nights of Sally Hawkins, and
oh, they were the best movie nights of Sally Hawkins.
Movie nights with Sally Hawkins. So yeah, those 3 films that we listed off, those were some of the ones that we watched with her.
Absolutely, that's awesome. And I guess my to kind of follow up on something that you mentioned about the set dressing and everything, the house in this film, very unique. What was it like trying to find the correct house? Because you spend so much time like in this place. Was that something you guys had to construct, or was this like something you found and then maybe tailored around it, or was that straight from the brain?
Well, the bottom story was an actual place, an actual location, and we knew we wanted to find somewhere where the pool was at the heart of the house. So every window that you're sitting in, every room that you're in, it's there and it's present. And
or can't escape the past.
Yeah. And then so the top story was built as a set. So like those bedrooms were in the set. And then like it was all about the color scheme and designing things where it's like we wanted to put these greens to browns to orange, to show that Laura is sort of a decaying leaf. She's a dying leaf. And the color scheme is seen on the walls. Like downstairs, she's putting on a happy front. So she's got these greens and these oranges. Then upstairs in her bedroom, it's rotted away and it's dead. And that's like how she's feeling in that moment. So it's so fun to tell story, through costume and through, even the architecture of the house. It's the best. And we built the pool shed on location as well.
I got to tell you, shooting though in a house like that is a nightmare logistically.
I mean, anything with rain,
light, even rain in a set is it's things you don't think about. So I think next movie will have no rain.
Yeah, we aged 10 years trying to do rain in this movie.
The rain. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. That like Luke and I, we did a short film 2 summers ago. First time we really put our nose to the grindstone to do something, and we thought, hey, let's just put a wine glass in the shot, and they'll keep drinking from it. That was the worst decision. Like every other shot I get into editing after the first day, I'm like, oh no, we didn't refill the wine glass after every take. Like we're scrod.
Oh no.
Yeah, continuity.
There's so many of those things that
it's
pop up in the edit. Like even if we have characters wearing sunglasses, you're like, God, there's a boom mic in the damn thing. Yeah, it's always the craziest things pop up and you don't expect them.
I love it. Luke, I'll pass it on to you for the last couple.
Bring Her Back has such a great perfect balance between that eeriness and tension. And like Dylan said, we've tried our hand at a few short films, and you create something on the page and you're shooting it through the lens, and then you're kind of start second guessing yourself. You're like, man, this worked perfectly in my head, and I was not sure if it's working out well. Did you find, you don't have to be specific, obviously we're not getting into spoiling the film, but were there any elements, any scenes when you guys had really got into this thinking, I'm not sure if this is working as well on the page, or any obstacles like that?
Well, because we wanted to commit to a different kind of energy than Talk to Me was. Because our instincts are to have a kind of a YouTube mindset with things happening kind of all the time, because you can't have people look away. You have 3 seconds to capture an audience's attention on YouTube before they swipe off. So I think that kind of mentality was with Talk to Me. But so committing to a different style of film, like a snowball, or a spiral out of control, is a different thing. So when we're watching it, we do wonder, is this working? Is this the right amount of tension? Is it holding tension? So it's all that thing like refining and trying to figure it out.
And even with the opening shot, there's an opening scene in the film that was shot as a one take. And it was this big, it went for like 3.5 minutes that sort of showed this ritual happening. And in the process of editing, it felt like it took away or overshadowed the first half of the film. And it's just one of those things that you shoot within a certain intention, and then with the edit, you're recreating the film all over again. And it's so true that you create the film 3 times. There's that saying where it's the script, you make it, you shoot it, you make it, and then when you edit it, you make it. And that's just one of those things that in the scripting and the production side of it, there was one thing in our head, and then in the editing process, you're able to refine it and really control the tempo.
And looking at the film, dealing heavily in grief, but we have a cast of characters, and they're all seemingly dealing with grief in their own way, with different attributes. You empathize with all of them. At least I felt myself empathizing with everyone, even when they're on the more negative side of things. Was it kind of, when you were building these characters and collaborating, was that something that was in your head? Was it a conscious effort, or was it more of a collaboration with the actors saying, okay, bring your own voice here. This is kind of the main motivation. This is what we're dealing with, but make it your own?
Well, definitely, like when you're working the characters, those scenes and those situations, they're all completely set. And it's sort of like that stuff is written to be tying everybody together. And even the rain as a metaphor is used to tie everybody together. And everyone's experiencing the rain even in their own way. So I think that stuff was super, super scripted. And then it's more about when you're communicating with the actors, what we do is they come to Australia, we sit down, and we break down every single scene of the script and talk about our motivations, what we're connected to in these things, like where this was inspired from. And then hearing what they think about it. Did they connect to this? Is there anything that they can bring to it? And I think that's just part of the process coming back and forth.
And I think that's why Sally Hawkins was a fan of the script. She liked the script, not because it was a horror film. She liked it from a character point of view. So it's always that thing of making it as human as possible. And that's what she was able to bring. It's erase the fact that it's a horror movie. This is a character who's lost their sanity. She's been swallowed by this loss.
But it is definitely a horror movie.
But the way, but she plays it like a human.
Yeah.
But she's fucking terrifying.
Completely terrifying. Well, that's all the time we have, guys. Thank you again. I hope we get to speak with you again in the future, and I'm so excited to see whatever you two create next. It's going to be awesome. I know it.
Do the horror shit, gonna do it live. Cause Splattercast kick it every day they live. Splattercast, slash ass. Splattercast, slash ass. Splattercast, slash ass. Splattercast, slash ass.